How's it going, everyone? I'm Contemption, and today I am on my farm account. Why am I on my farm account? Because I'm going to be testing something that came up today randomly while I was sitting on the couch just watching a TV show, and I thought to myself, what am I going to do for a 6th March in our Season of Conquest KvK once I unlock it with Crystal Tech? Who am I going to use? I was thinking most likely it was going to be Constantine. Yeah, it's another infantry march, so I would have 4 infantry marches and 2 archer marches. I could also use Saladin. My purpose of this would be putting either Joan or Mulan as a secondary to buff my other 5 marches. But I came across something interesting, and I know it's not new on the talent tree, and we'll go over it in a minute. It's not a new talent, it's not a new description, nothing's changed, but I was very curious to see the AoE of the talent. And we'll go over all that and see if it's going to be worth using in open field. I think it could help a lot. I'm trying to slow down marches out in the open field, which is why I'm going to craft more as web. So I think this talent could actually help, and I want to see how big the AoE debuff is, what radius it gives you out in open field. So we're going to check that out. We're going to test that and see how big it is. So here we go. Okay, let's just make sure everything's working here. Everything's queued up. Okay, so Constantine, I obviously am going to be looking at this from my farm account. Aethelflaed has the talent. What I'm looking at is Cage of Thorns. The description's not new. It's always been after using an active skill, reduces march speed of nearby enemy troops by 5%, 25% when it's maxed out. Now the duration is 3 seconds and it's a maximum of 5 targets. So we know it's AoE, but when you're testing it from the account you're using, you actually can't see the debuffs pop on the account. So I've actually left the alliance from my main account, and we're going to take a look and see how it looks and which marches are being affected, and we're going to test it. I'm going to send a march that's reduced by the march speed reduction to a location after the skills popped and before the skills popped to see how long it's going to take to get there, and we'll just see what kind of radius it's going to give. I've never used that talent to any extent. Usually I put this at 1 just to slow nearby enemy troops so that Aethelflaed, if she is a primary and she is expertise, she's dealing the 20% increased damage to enemy troops that are affected by slowdown. So that is typically at 1 if you're doing PvP. Not on this, it's a farm account. It's just a talent tree. It should have trophy hunter, to be honest with you. But anyways, I'm going to try this out. We're going to see how it goes. I'm curious. I did test it first, and I actually tested it from my main account on my farm without anybody around it. And then you couldn't see anything on barbs. So I was like, okay, maybe you can't really debuff many things that are not attacking you, or maybe it has to be really close. But it ends up being a pretty fair distance. And so what I'm going to do is I've got my iPhone over here. I'm going to move my main account to the middle, and then we're going to put them all around, and I'm just going to show you what happens. And we're going to leave some, we'll go some a little bit further out. It kind of looks like the AoE is actually the same size as Constantine's AoE, so we'll be able to see that circular area, and we'll try and keep within it. But let's try this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack it from this farm account, and that way we can see the debuffs, because if I were to be on my main account, you would not see the debuffs on these marches. For whatever reason, it doesn't show. So what we'll do is we'll attack this and we'll be able to see. So once he sets this off, and I'll obviously be able to do this a couple times, I'm not too worried about filling the hospital on my farm. Okay, there's the AoE. And there's the march speed. Now we're not hitting Sun Tzu, so it must be smaller. It's not, it doesn't look like it's hitting him. So let's move him a little bit closer. Now it's hitting. Very strange. So it's not exactly Constantine's AoE, because now it's not getting hit, but it's a little bit less. Very, very strange. I wonder if it's the same as YSG's AoE, because YSG's is actually a little bit smaller, but now it's getting the march speed reduction, and we'll test this out. So How can we do this? We will send him over. How long will it take him to get over to here? 28 seconds. But let's actually see what it is. Yeah, 28. Oh, 21. Okay, you know what? We'll be able to tell by walking through it. Let's do that. Let's go down here. You can actually see the march speed reduction. And once it's gone, you'll probably be able to see him speed up again. No, he's still getting the march speed. Let's go a little bit further. Okay. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can see this. So we'll send Sun Tzu to here. And we'll watch his timer. As he gets closer, it should increase once he gets that. There it is. Up to 30. So it is. It's less than Constantine's AoE, but it's still fairly large. It kind of looks like YSG's AoE. Very, very cool. So I'm definitely thinking of using this in murder balls. I think it would be huge in murder balls. 25% march speed reduction. I can stop this. We'll get him out of there. No point in filling the hospital more than I have to. It's definitely working. It's definitely a big AoE. It looks like the same size as YSG's, not the same size as Constantine's. It doesn't show up in the report on either account, and I'll just confirm on my iPhone. I know you can't see it. It doesn't show anybody else, and this didn't do actually too bad considering, but I had a lot less troops and I don't have any alliance buffs for my main. So I think this would be really good. Honestly, 25% march speed reduction in a murder ball with Constantine. I've never thought of using that talent tree. You know what? Let's just jump onto my main account quickly. So slow right now. Okay. Let's bring Constantine back. We can get him out of the field. Let's rejoin the alliance. I don't know about anybody else, but it's been super laggy lately. I don't know if it's because we're in Lost Kingdom. I don't know if there's something going on in the background. I don't know, but it's been super slow on my iPhone and on the computer. The lag is unreal. It's been very strange. More than usual. Usually it's only when you're in murder balls. But anyways, okay. Here's the gear for Constantine that I'm going to use. I have this extra set of infantry gear ready for a 6 March. I could also use I actually think I have it on Mina. I could also use a cavalry march. Obviously just swap the accessories around. I could do this with Saladin. I could, definitely possible. I'd have to change the talent tree because I've never used this. So here it is, 25% march speed reduction, 3 seconds in a very big AoE, a circular AoE. I think this is even fantastic for Ark of Osiris. I'm really thinking that maybe I should be bringing out Constantine. If my Mulan was finished, it would be a no-brainer. Mulan right now is 5552. I got unfortunate with that third skill. I could try it, resetting it, but I think I only have 1. So probably not worth it. Probably wouldn't get lucky. But I could try that, and I'm only 3 away. So maybe I could get some gold keys and unlock another skill. Maybe I could get 5535. That would actually be pretty good. It's just the expertise you really want. You get that extra 5% and you get 5% march speed increase, and the duration is 3 seconds instead of 2 seconds, which is pretty big. But let's go back to Constantine here. So I'm thinking about using Constantine. I've never thought of using Cage of Thorns. I've always had a talent tree that's looked like this. It even says field fighting. I had to redo my first one. I've never had, what was this? I don't even know. There's a little bit of difference. I probably did the march speed or no, increased it. I don't know why I did that. But anyways, field fighting. What's this one? Snare of Thorns gives normal attack 10% chance to reduce target. So it's just the target you're attacking. I've never thought of putting this to 5. I've always gone with just Aethelflaed having 1 on this so that her expertise is used. But I've never thought about using that in open field fighting because I didn't think it was going to be hitting that many marches with that big of an AoE. So I'm pretty surprised that that's how it works. I've never tested it before, but while I was thinking about using another march once I get the crystal tech unlocked, which likely won't be by this Sunday, that is when war is going to happen, which I'm super stoked about. Not going to be happening, but I'm getting closer. Like, I know I'm a ways away from getting this, because I've got a ways to go. I've got to finish that. I got to get these up to 7, which means I got to get these up to 10. And to get this up, I need to get attack formation up. So I'm really working on a lot of prerequisites. But I have 2.1 million crystals. I'm working it as much as possible. Working bastions, doing the troop training ones for the most amount of crystals, saving up more Kahar whistles for when I get the tech higher. So it's likely by King's Landing I will have a 6 March, especially if I get another one of the, you know, first couple bundles of the Mountain Warfare. I'm not going for the last one. As you can tell, that's a lot, especially when you're talking about 12% tax on top of that. It's not nice. It's too much. It's just too much. So that's probably as high as I'll go for the next pass as well. And then that way, I'm looking pretty good for Crystal Tech. So I will probably have a 6 March by King's Landing, maybe sooner. That could be cool. If I could get it sooner for the next war by next Sunday would be fantastic. I just don't know if I have enough to get there. But there is the next bundle. So that's what I'm thinking for a 6 March. If you've seen my channel before, my marches roll like this. March will go like that. So I'm using Guan, Leo, Naboo, YSG, Ramses, and Mehmed. Mehmed is 5535, and he's got the relic. Really fun to use, especially in open field. Ramses isn't targeted very often if they don't see YSG behind him. They'll go for my Naboo first. I've got Richard and Aethelflaed. I think is a fantastic combination. Talked about it before. They both have their relics, 20% increased march speed plus some other buffs. Fantastic march. And then I've got, of course, Charles and Harold, which I tested a couple videos ago. Beautiful march. I'm very excited to use that, especially once I have more troop capacity. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm thinking the 6 March is going to be Constantine and probably Joan. But if I can get Mulan another skill and I use the reset, which I'll probably film if I do, maybe we can get 5535. That would be pretty sweet. I didn't get lucky when I did Mehmed. It took 6 skill resets to get him at 5535, but maybe we'll get lucky this time, or at least even a little bit better. It can't get worse at this point, right? No, it literally can't. It can't get worse than that. So we will do that next time that I open some gold keys. I think I just did gold keys. So I only have 19, but those accumulate pretty fast when you're in Lost Kingdom. So I'm definitely surprised at how big Constantine's AoE is with that talent. I imagine it's exactly the same with every other commander. Yeah, it wouldn't make a difference whether it was Saladin or Aethelflaed. It's not going to change. It wasn't matching Constantine's AoE, so it's not like it follows the commander, and Saladin doesn't even have AoE. A lot of support commanders don't. So it's likely just an invisible AoE, the same size as what YSG's is. That's what it looks like. But there you go, guys. That's the 6 March I'm thinking about using. Here are my commanders. If you have a different suggestion, by all means, but I think that's the best for me. I don't have good cavalry marches for Season of Conquest KvK, so I'm thinking Constantine is going to be great for buffing my marches. I've got a lot of skill damage out there, so it should be a lot of fun if I can even buff those marches more. So there you go, guys. Thank you for checking it out. Until next time, have a good one. Hope you're having a great weekend. See you later. Bye.